Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Finance with Avrin. In this video, I'm giving you the top 5 one-year CD certificate of deposit accounts ranked by APY, annual percentage yield, and we're more than halfway through of March, so I'm saying this is a March into April 2025 list. And there's a couple of CD accounts with high yields that are 13 months, so I have them in the honorable mention section. And for every CD on my list, I'm giving you a calculation example of a certain amount of money so you can see and know how much interest you would earn with these CD accounts. Now, all of these CD accounts are FDIC insured. That means they're covered by that Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation up to that $250,000 standard amount. And also, none of these CD accounts have any kind of monthly maintenance fees. However, there is an early withdrawal fee for these CD accounts if you withdraw the money before the end of the term. And that just kind of varies depending on the CD. It could be a certain amount of months or days worth of interest they'll charge you and so forth. Before we get to the list, I want to show you a couple of graphs here. Investopedia had a survey back in January 2025 asking people if they had an extra $10,000 right now, where would you most likely put it? And I want to know from you all, where would you most likely put an extra $10,000 that just fell into your lap? On this survey with Investopedia, you see most people are going with individual stocks at 18%. And then close by at number 2, ETFs, exchange traded funds. And then you have a tie right here with stock index funds, CDs, and high yield savings accounts at 9%. And I'm curious, what would you all do? Me personally, if I had an extra $10,000, I would put most of that in individual stocks and ETFs, and then I would also put some in my high yield savings account. That's just me personally right now. I don't have any CDs going currently right now. However, I do go in and out of CDs sometimes, 6 months, 1 year, just depending on what I want to do with my money and my goals at that current time. Also, I want to show you another graph right here. The current national average for 1 year CD accounts is around 2%, 1.8%, 1.9%. However, all the CD accounts in this video are much higher than that. But this is a graph of the average CD rates historically. You can see right now we're in that higher range again. You know, the past couple of years, we've seen some definitely high CD account yields, and I've been talking about them here on my channel. But without further ado, let's get into the honorable mentions and then the top 5 list. There's more than 5 because there's a couple of ties, but let's get into it. Starting here with the first honorable mention, it is the Synchrony 13-month certificate of deposit at 4.35% APY. There's no minimum initial deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. Now, this is an honorable mention because it's not 12 months, not a year, it's 13 months, and this list is specifically for 1 year CDs. However, it's a little bit longer and it's still a high yield, which is actually higher than some of the 12-month CD accounts on this list. So I definitely wanted to mention this account that's offered by Synchrony currently. In a calculation example for this CD account, if you had $25,000 in this 13-month CD account with Synchrony, with the interest compounding daily, after 13 months, you would have about $1,180.23 worth of interest. So that $25,000 would have grown to about $26,180. And next up here, we have another honorable mention. It is the CIBC 13-month CD account at 4.36%, 0.01% higher than the previous honorable mention. And with this CD account, there's a $1,000 minimum initial deposit required to open it, and the interest is compounded and credited monthly. Now, this is an honorable mention because, yeah, it's not a 12-month CD. It is a 13-month CD. However, it is higher than some of the 12-month CDs on this list. So I definitely wanted to mention it in the video. If you're looking for 1 year CDs, you may say, oh, I'll take an extra month for a high yield, depending on the bank and depending on some other features you may like or dislike. Calculation example for this account, if you had $25,000 in this CIBC 13-month CD account with the interest compounding monthly, after 13 months, you would have earned about $1,182.95 worth of interest. All right, so those are the honorable mentions. Let's get into the top 5 list. Starting with number 5, there's a tie, and it is CIBC again because not only do they have a 13-month CD with a high yield at that 4.36% you just saw, but they have a 12-month CD account as well with a high yield at 4.21% APY. Same as the previous account with them, they have a $1,000 minimum initial deposit required to open it, and the interest is compounded and credited monthly. Calculation example for this one, if you had $25,000 in this CIBC 12-month CD with the interest compounding monthly. After 12 months, you would earn about $1,052.50 worth of interest. So that $25,000 would have grown to about $26,052. And as you see on the screen, you see the compound interest for like the first 6 months of that interest increasing each month and compounding on top of each other. So yeah, CIBC makes the list twice because of that featured 13-month CD they have going on, which is higher than their 12-month CD. However, their 12-month CD got right in the bottom of the list, tied at number 5 at 4.21%. And at number 5, we have another tie. It is the Tap Bank 12-month CD account at 4.21% APY. There's a $1,000 minimum deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. Calculation example for this one: if you had $25,000 in a Tap Bank 12-month CD account at 4.21% APY with the interest compounded daily, after 12 months, that $25,000 would have turned into about $26,051.45. So you see a slight difference right there with the interest compounding daily versus monthly. It gives you an extra dollar or so over the 12 months with the same APY. So noticeable, but somewhat negligible. However, with the more money you have in the account and the longer it goes on, the more of a difference you'll see with interest compounding daily versus monthly. All right, on to number 4. And at number 4, we have another tie. First up here, we have the New Tech Bank 12-month CD account at 4.25% APY. There's a $2,500 minimum initial deposit required to open this account and a maximum deposit amount of $250,000. With this CD account, the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. Calculation example for this one: if you had $25,000 in this New Tech Bank 12-month CD account at 4.25% APY with the interest compounding daily, after 12 months, you would have earned interest of about $1,062.50. So that $25,000 would have turned into about $26,062. Also tied at number 4 is the Popular Direct 12-month CD account at 4.25% APY. There's a $10,000 minimum deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. So same calculation example as the previous CD account: $25,000 in this CD with Popular Direct for 12 months at 4.25% APY. After 12 months, you would have earned interest of about $1,062. Also tied at number 4 is the Marcus by Goldman Sachs 12-month CD account at 4.25% APY. There's a $500 minimum initial deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. Calculation example for this Marcus by Goldman Sachs 12-month CD: if you had $25,000 in it at 4.25% APY with the interest compounding daily, after 12 months, you would have earned interest of about $1,062. So that $25,000 would have turned into about $26,062. If you let the money just sit in the account, don't withdraw it out early, and let the interest just sit there and compound each month. And at number 3, we have the Live Oak Bank 12-month CD account at 4.30% APY. There's a $2,500 minimum initial deposit required to open this account and an account deposit maximum of $250,000. With this account, the interest is compounded and credited monthly. Calculation example for this one: if you had $25,000 in this Live Oak Bank 12-month CD at 4.30% APY, after 12 months with the interest compounding monthly, you would have earned interest of about $1,075. So that $25,000 after 12 months would have turned into about $26,075. And at number 2, we have the Basque Bank 12-month CD account at 4.40% APY. There's a $1,000 minimum deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. Calculation example for this one: if you had $25,000 in a Basque Bank 12-month CD at 4.40% APY with the interest compounding daily, after 12 months, you would have earned interest of about $1,100. So $1,100 worth of interest in 12 months. That $25,000 would have turned into about $26,100 sitting in this CD for 12 months at 4.40% APY. And at number 1 of the list, we have the Total Bank 12-month CD account at 4.41% APY. So it beat out on the previous CD by 0.01%. And with this Total Bank 12-month CD, there's a $25,000 minimum deposit required to open it and an account deposit maximum of $1 million. And with the interest, it is compounded daily and credited monthly. Now, with the Total Bank CD, there is a note on their website that states they have some state restrictions, and they declare that each state has its own set of laws designed to protect investors against fraudulent sales practices and activities in its territories. As a result, a state restriction will vary by the issuing bank and offering. Total Bank can conduct business anywhere in the U.S. with the exception of American Samoa, Florida, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, and U.S. Virgin Islands. So something to notate there with the Total Bank CD. They have some state restrictions going on. Now, calculations for this CD at number 1 of the list. If you had $25,000 in this Total Bank 12-month CD at 4.41% APY with the interest compounding daily, after 12 months, you would have earned interest of about $1,102.50. So that $25,000 sitting in this 12-month CD account at 4.41% with the interest compounding monthly, having that interest compound on top of the interest and the initial principal, that $25,000 would have turned into about $26,102. And there you have it, folks, the top 5 one-year CD accounts ranked by APY as of March 20th, 2025 for March into April of 2025. Whether you're looking to park some cash safely or just want a guaranteed return while the economy figures out itself, these options could be a solid place to start for you depending on your financial situation and goals. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more money tips and moves to make your money work harder and smarter for you. Drop a comment down below if you have any experience with any of these CD accounts or if you have any questions or concerns. It's Finance with Avrin. Thanks for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.